Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the Holy Smokes Barbecue channel. Today we are making what a lot of people consider to be the Cadillac of meats, and it is the Filet Mignon. One of the most beautiful cuts, one of the most tender cuts, and we're gonna make it today on the Pit Boss Platinum Lockhart, and I'm gonna do a reverse searing method on it, which is just gonna be delicious and incredible. And to kick it up, we're gonna wrap that Filet Mignon in bacon, and I'm gonna top it with a homemade Gorgonzola butter. Man, my stomach is growling. I don't know if you can hear. But this is gonna be absolutely delicious. So we're gonna get started with our butter because that's gonna take a little bit of time to prepare, and it's gonna set in the refrigerator for just a little bit of time, and then we're gonna get to our steak. So what's gonna be probably a couple hour long process for me is only gonna be a few minutes for you. So here we go, let's dive in. All right, so this homemade Gorgonzola butter is gonna be very, very simple, easy to do. We're gonna start with some fresh parsley here, and fresh is always better, right? Anything that you get, if it's fresh, it's better. I'm only gonna need about a tablespoon of this, so I'm just gonna very finely chop it here. It's probably a little bit more, but that's fine. Just like that. I'm just gonna chop it up all nicely so that it's just a nice chop. This is definitely going to make more than a tablespoon, but that's totally fine. Just won't use all of it. I'm just looking to make sure there's no like giant pieces in here. All right, that's looking pretty good. All right, I'm going to take that parsley. I'm going to get it right here into my bowl. Just like that, about a tablespoon. All right, for my next step, I'm going to put in a complete stick of softened butter. Now I have some Gorgonzola cheese. I'm gonna put in about 4 ounces. So with this kind of wedge, it's gonna be about half. So just put in about that much. There we go. Then finally, about a teaspoon of fresh ground pepper. All right. I'm just going to use a spoon to just kind of combine this all together. This is where it's really important that your butter is softened. Gorgonzola cheese is naturally kind of a softer cheese, so it's easier to mix up like this. All right, there we have it. Now I'm going to want to eventually put little sort of slices of this butter cheese mixture on top of my filet. So I'm actually going to put it in the fridge to solidify. But I'm only going to do that after I've put it onto parchment and rolled it up so that it's very easy to separate into slices. So I'll go ahead and do that now. All right, I've got my parchment paper here. I'm just going to go ahead and scoop this out and just right onto my parchment. Just like that. Okay. Awesome. So now I'm just going to sort of shape this up a little bit into about the size that I'm going to want. It's going to be, bring it out just a little bit here. There we go. And now I'm going to actually roll this up in the parchment. Okay. Just kind of like that. I'm going to roll it. Okay. And then I'm just going to put this in the refrigerator just like this, just so that it has some time to actually just kind of solidify again. Probably take about an hour. So I'm going to put this in the fridge, and once I put this in the fridge, we're going to get started on our filet. All right, with our butter mixture in the fridge, it's time to get started on our fillets. So I've got 2 nicely sized fillets here. I'm going to use both of these. Planes flying overhead here. I don't know if you can hear it. I always like to acknowledge the sounds that you hear on here, just in case you wonder what they are. All right, now for each fillet, I mentioned that we're going to wrap these in bacon. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a slice of bacon. And here's the technique I'm going to use for this. I'm going to start by taking this butcher's twine, which is readily available. Your butcher can get that for you. It usually comes by the arm's length. I didn't know that until recently. I don't know whose arm is this long, but you know, whatever. I'm going to lay this kind of on top of the bacon so that I can make sure that I get the right length. And I want it to sort of hang off about 1.5 inches, which I guess given this piece of bacon, it's about the length of my cutting apparatus, whatever this thing is called. I don't know what it's called. It's not a cutting board because it's not a board. It's more like a cutting sheet. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm going to cut it to be about the length of my cutting panel. So now I have a piece of twine that's about the length of this piece of bacon, a little bit hanging off each edge. Oh my gosh, there's another plane. Are you kidding me? Can you hear this? All right, as the plane passes overhead, now I'm going to take my piece of twine and I'm going to lay it out. I'm going to put my bacon on top of it, like so. See, I've got a little bit hanging off each side. Now I'm going to take my fillet, and starting at the end, I'm going to use the twine, let it help me to wrap around just like that. And now I'm going to simply just tie this off, and that will help me keep my bacon adhered nicely to this fillet. All right, there we have our first one. Do the same thing with the second one. Lay out my bacon. I'm going to cut my twine to length here. I'll lay out my twine, put my bacon on top, grab my fillet. This one's a little bit bigger, so we'll see how this works. Put it right down on top of the bacon, roll it along the bacon. And just tie this one off as well. All right, I'm going to lose one glove, and now I'm going to start dealing with my seasoning. So for today, I'm going to be using Kinder's The Blend seasoning. Very, very simple blend, salt, pepper, garlic. It's the holy trinity. It's really all that you need. Salt, pepper, garlic. I could do all kinds of different spices or seasonings on this, but I'm just going to keep it simple today. And I'm also not going to do a ton. Just about like that much on each side. Pat that in there so that it adheres nicely. The thing I really like about this seasoning is that it has the garlic in it, as you can see, is chunks instead of just a fine powder. So that's going to give a really interesting texture to this this fillet. Okay, flip it over. Same thing, just like that. Pat that in. You can see nothing's really coming off on my hand. That's how I know it's really getting into the meat well. All right, now it's time for our next step. All right, so let's talk a little bit about this concept of reverse searing, which is what we're gonna do to these fillets today. So traditionally, the way you cook a steak is you sear it first, meaning you cook it at a very, very high temperature, right on some super hot grates to get those nice marks on it, to get that good crust on it, and then you finish it either in the oven or a lower temperature part of your grill until it's done. It's a great way of cooking a steak. But today we're gonna reverse sear these fillets. What that means is that we're gonna cook them first low and slow on the Lockhart. I'm actually not even gonna put them directly on the grates. I'm gonna put them on the upper, like, warming grates. And I'm gonna cook them at 200 degrees for as long as it takes to get to about an internal temperature of 105, 110 degrees. Then I'm gonna open up the flame hood on the Lockhart, which is gonna allow those flames to actually come through so it won't all just be smoke. I'm gonna crank the temperature up to like 450 degrees, and then we're gonna put these fillets right smack on the flame. And that's going to give us this beautiful crust, and I'm gonna leave them there, flip them once until we get to the magic internal temperature of about 130, which is gonna be a nice medium temperature. That's how I kind of like my steak. So that's how we're gonna do it. So right now, I'm gonna go ahead and put these onto the Lockhart at 200 degrees, and we'll be back when that internal temperature reaches 105 degrees. All right, let's get these on. So like I said, I'm actually putting them here on my upper rack, so they're not even gonna be down on the main grates. I'm gonna use my temperature probe. This came with the Lockhart, and I'm going to actually use it to remotely monitor the temperature of the steaks. Just like that. So today, once again, just like I've done in many of my videos, I'm using the Pit Boss Competition Blend wood pellets. They are an incredible blend of pellets. They're super versatile. They're good on just about anything, whether it be you know, filet mignon or a brisket or seafood or even a dessert. They provide just that really classic smoky flavor, so good on anything. And another one of my favorite features of the Platinum Lockhart is the Wi-Fi functionality with Pit Boss's Smoke IT technology. So there's an app that I download to my phone, and I can remotely monitor the temperature of those fillets and the temperature just inside the grill in general. It looks like this. This is the Pit Boss Smoke IT technology app, and I can monitor everything remotely. So if I want to go inside, I don't know why you'd want to go inside on such a beautiful day, but I can go inside and monitor everything remotely. All right, we'll be back when these steaks get up to temp and ready to sear. All right, as you can see, the flame is rolling and it's time to get our fillets back down here, get them nice and seared and finished up. Now notice I've still got my temperature probe in here because I still want to monitor the internal temp of that meat, but it's going to go up pretty quickly from here. Now when this flame hood is open and it's going at these temperatures, you really want to just kind of make sure you monitor it. I wouldn't close the lid here, just monitor it, make sure that you know everything's fine with that flame. That temperature's going up pretty quickly on the steak there. I can tell by monitoring that here on the Lockhart. I'm going to sort of rotate these. Just make sure a nice, even cooking. Let's go ahead and flip. Oh, look at that. That nice sear on there. Now I'm actually going to go ahead and remove the temperature probe from this one so that I can flip it. But again, I want to be careful because it is hot. Set that right outside. Flip it over. Oh yeah, look at that. Beautiful sear. Keep it right over that flame. All right, I've shifted these around just a little bit here and there just to make sure everything's cooking nice and evenly. And that temperature's reading about 140 right now, which is that perfect medium temperature that I'm looking for. So I'm gonna go ahead and close my flame shield. That's gonna remove that direct flame from the meat. And now we're gonna get them off and we're going to apply some of that beautiful butter that we created. All right, and here we have our finished steaks. Look at how beautiful those are. So really there's only three things left to do. First is to remove this butcher's twine. Just get my super sharp knife in there to get that off. Just like that. Set that aside. Grab this other one. Just like that. Now it's really important that we let these steaks rest because resting is going to allow those juices to kind of settle down inside so we have a nice juicy piece of meat. But while that meat rests, I'm going to go ahead and slice a couple of little pieces of our homemade Gorgonzola butter. You can see since I had it in the fridge, it's now nice and it's kind of hardened up. That'll make it really easy to slice. Just like that. I'm going to place that right on top of my steak here. One more. Place that right on top of the steak. Let's move this over. Look at that. Look at that. All right, these steaks have been resting for about 15 minutes and I mean, come on, look at how beautiful that is. That bacon is perfect on there. This butter has melted. I really wish you could smell this right now. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's cut into one. Let's see how we did on our temperature. All right, let's see. See if we got a nice little medium well. Here we are. Look at that. So gorgeous. Exactly the way I like my steak. All right, it is the moment that we've all been waiting for. I cannot wait to taste this filet. So here we go. Let's go ahead and dive in. I gotta make sure I get some of that butter sauce there. Yeah, some of that bacon with it. Oh, bon appetit. Woo. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Holy smokes. That's one of the best steaks I've ever had. I mean, it's legitimately one of the best steaks I've ever had. That reverse sear gives it a crunch as you bite into it. That butter, oh my gosh, that butter. The bacon, basically every part of this thing, absolutely fantastic. You know, once you've reverse seared a steak like this, I mean, I don't know that I ever want it any other way. Well, hey, thanks for tuning in to yet another delicious video here on the Holy Smokes Barbecue channel. If you like this video, make sure you give us a thumbs up, turn on the post notifications by clicking that little bell icon. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you make sure that you get the latest content as we put it out. Make sure that you check out one of these other 2 videos so you can see some of the other incredible things that we've made here outside. And I'll see you next time.